Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we have another top performing team which I used to break the 110 billion damage barrier, and as you can tell that put us in the rank 1 position. So the credit for this team goes out to Riketsia, and it doesn't even have Athalia in it. That is the crazy thing. However, the problem with it is you will need to have plus 15 exclusive equipment of Shakir, or you won't be able to run this comp. That is the unfortunate thing. But if you take a look at it, I don't even have like a very highly ascended Natsu or Set, and plus 10 exclusive equipment of Set, and we still managed to get 110 billion damage, and the RNG is not bad at all. Like, all my runs were 109 billion damage, and on the 5th run, I hit the 110.2 billion damage. Now, as for this team, the charms are going to be very important. We're going to talk about that. But first of all, take a look at the formation. But do keep in mind, this is for a plus 15 or above exclusive equipment Shakir. Otherwise, it is not going to work. And then you have to run the other teams I recommend. Okay, so the set is going to be on the Ruthless charms. This is really important, and I know this is a charm set which hasn't been recommended up until this point, but it is needed for this comp because it allows the set to remain in a position to be buffed up by Shakir's aura. Otherwise, with the other charm sets, it's not really working. Kruger with the Mystic Charms, Natsu with the Sorcery Charms, and he will be on the Dragon King mode, the Dark Red Dragon, and Smokey with Recovering Charms, Shakir with the Mystic Charms. Team number 2 is going to be the standard team with Mikola. It is going to be Elsa with the Overloaded Charms, and refine them if you can, and Odie with the Gale Charms, and refine them if you can because they both are high damage contributors, and Mikola with the Arcane Charms. For the team number 1, the highest damage dealer is the Natsu, and that is why I refined his charms, but I didn't really bother with Set. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to jump right into the replay and see what happened in order for us to get this score. So, Seth is going to end up... Yeah, this is important. Seth and Natsu are side by side. Shakir gets pushed into a position to be buffing up all allies on the team from where he's standing, and he was only pushed because of his ultimate timing combined with the teleportation timing of Smokey, and that is why the plus 15 exclusive equipment is needed for Shakir. Otherwise, he will not be pushed into this position, and then he doesn't provide the value to his team. But here, he is buffing up everyone, including your 2 key damages, which are Set and Natsu, which is amazing. Now, if you run a different charm set on Set, it can sometimes work. However, the RNG is going to be really bad because Seth can sometimes end up jumping to the other side of the boss, and then he'll jump back for a duration, and like that is kind of the issue. But with the Ruthless charms, you can see here, Seth is remaining in the position where we want him to be at. And that is why this is the recommended charm set. It reduces your RNG to almost a minimum, and it also has pretty good damage output with that charm bonus. And like, look at this, 5 seconds left, and Seth is going to remain for the whole fight within the Shakir's buff, and then only right at the end he jumps to the other side. So that is going to be a bit of the RNG. Seth can sometimes jump to the boss, like to the other side of the boss with like 10 seconds left, and then your score is going to be a little bit reduced. But if he remains like he did for this run, then he is going to get his maximum damage output. So that is a great team, but it does require plus 15 exclusive equipment of Shakir, which is unfortunate. Okay, now I'm going to show you the other team, which is the Athalia team. Now, this is a crazy thing, because Athalia team, you would think she's a Celestial Hypogean, and I have a Paragon 4 in the account. Wouldn't this be doing better? But actually, this team, I did almost 10 runs, and we were unable to break 110 billion damage. Now, maybe if I refine the charms of Athalia and Overloaded charms and refine them, maybe I could get up to 110 billion, and people have hit 111 billion damage with this team today. So this is still a top performing team competing with the other team option. However, that Seth's team is much more budget friendly, and also it was doing better than this team for me. I did even more runs than the Athalia team. I got a lower score. Team number 2 is exactly the same. Team number 1, this is going to be the lineup, and the charms are going to be the same except for Athalia with the Overloaded charms because she was not using the other team. Mystic onto Kruger. Now, you might be thinking, why is Athalia not as good as Seth? And it's because of the positioning. If you would take a look at this replay, and we can just briefly watch it, maybe we can exit out earlier. Shakir is never going to be able to be in a position to buff up your entire team. From this position, he's only able to buff up Kruger and Athalia. And now this will allow him to permanently be buffing up Athalia, because now Athalia can jump back and forth to the side back and forth between left of Shakir, right of Shakir. The problem is if you had a fully grouped up formation, like let's say Natsu to the left of Shakir and Athalia beginning on the right of Shakir, then Athalia is gonna, with her ultimate, jump to a different location. This is the problem with Athalia. It's kind of like Sonya. The hero is forced to jump into another location. They have to change their position, and if there isn't a free spot available right next to the Shakir, then Athalia is going to end up jumping to the other side of the boss. Okay guys, so here we have a great team only using Natsu as a damage dealer, basically no Athalia, no Seth, and it got 108 billion damage. This is an incredible score. It will work with a plus 10 exclusive criminal Shakir. Shakir does not need to be at plus 15. That is important to note. And then it will be Natsu with the sorcery charms in the Fire Dragon King mode. Other than that, the other heroes are going to be on their standard charm sets. So this is a great option if you have built up Natsu. And team number 2, Coco behind the Odie and Elsa on the other faction tile. And this is going to be, Coco charms don't really matter. It's just about Elsa and Odie. Try to get their best charms overloaded in Gale and try to refine them if possible. So if you don't have Natsu, then you should run this team setup with Seth and Citrana. We got 104 billion damage with it, but I have gone up to 105 billion damage with it. You should just run the Seth with the Arcane or the Mystic charms for this team, maybe even Acute charms, but for this run I just ran it with the Ruthless because those are what we had equipped, but it would have been better to have him on Arcane or Mystic. Citrana on the Butcher charms, and the other heroes are going to be on their standard charms. Team number 2 is going to be the Smoky version of the standard team number 2. And this is really the best option for players who do not have Natsu and they don't have Athalia. But the thing is, even if you just have Natsu, you do get a pretty big damage boost, like from 104 or maybe 105 up to 108 billion damage just by running this Natsu version of a team. And one final thing to note is if you have Athalia and if you have Seth, then you can run this team comp. This one can get up to 108 billion. We got 107. And here you'll want to have the Arcane Charms onto the set. But this is going to be the team lineup, Athalia and Seth on the faction tiles. And team number 2 is going to be the Mikola version with Elsa and Odie. But other than that, all the charms are going to be standard overloaded charms onto Athalia. And ideally Arcane Charms on the set, as you can see here. But anyway guys, that is going to be it for the recap of the top teams you can run for the Dauntless squad today, depending on your options, as well as the charms. But the really kind of new development is this new team that we talked about at the beginning, but it will need a plus 15 exclusive equipment of Shakir, and it is a Natsu team, but that is competing with the Athalia teams and even outperforming them from my testing. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That's gonna be it for this one. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please smash that subscribe button. Also feel free to join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. But thank you for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.